What up, everybody? You're watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We got a mailbag coming up for all of the real ones out there. This video came from our live show that goes down every single Monday. So if we didn't get to your question, that means you are being kind of a phony. So subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you get alerted anytime we go live here on New York Giants Now. My dog, Gilly, with a $5 super chat. Gilly, thank you. You wanted another question. I did want another question, specifically from you, Gilly. I got you. Why haven't we addressed edge depth yet? Are you worried about this? I am worried a little bit about the depth. Honestly, a little bit is a lie. I am extremely worried about the edge depth on the New York Football Giants because outside of Azeez Ojulari and outside of Kayvon Thibodeaux, you do not have any productive pass rusher to supplement those guys. And I don't think it's unfair to say that Azeez Ojulari has been an injury-prone player so far. And we know Kayvon Thibodeaux, dating back to his days at Oregon, has somewhat been injured. I think O'Shane Ximines is a good guy. He's got a great name. I don't like him as my third edge rusher. Ryder Anderson is supposedly up to 300 pounds. That doesn't sound like an edge rusher. And as much as Lawrence Taylor likes Timon Fox, I don't want him as my first edge rusher off the bench. I will continue to pound the table for Justin Houston. I think the Giants have to sign a veteran edge rusher at some point. I hope they do. Maybe they cut Darnay Holmes and they go and sign an edge rusher. But Gilly, I am worried about this, very much so. G-Men Lifer 4-5. What's up, homie? You guys in the Bryce Ford-Wheaton. Can Bryce Ford-Wheaton make the Giants roster? I got to come to work every day and look at Seeps across the office and him continue to tell me that Bryce Ford-Wheaton's the next great. Look, I get the juice. 6'4", 220 pounds, 4'3", 840, and a vertical jump of 41 inches. Like when we all played Madden, this was the wide receiver we created. 95 speed, 6'4", can jump through the roof. Looks like Megatron, kind of plays like not Megatron, though. I mean, when you look at the stats for Bryce Ford-Wheaton, it just doesn't add up, right? I mean, the guy never had more than 62 receptions in a season. I mean, he posted career highs in his senior season, and honestly, the numbers aren't great. I mean, he's averaging 11 yards per catch. I like 7 touchdowns. I'll take 7 tutties. But you give me 6'4", 220, 4'4", 40, 4'3", 40. Why are you only averaging 11 yards per catch? And to top that off, he was undrafted. And then to top that off, the Giants are already so deep at the wide receiver position. Like Hodgins, Shepard, Robinson, Slayton, Campbell, Hyatt, Crowder, Johnson, David Sills, and then Bryce Ford-Wheaton. And I didn't even say Jeff Smith, who the Giants like as a special teamer. I know a lot of people want to hype up Bryce Ford-Wheaton. I know it's really fun to talk about UDFAs. And I hope that Bryce Ford-Wheaton becomes the Calvin Johnson or the Randy Moss or the A.J. Green that you guys always tell me he's going to be. But to be those guys, you got to make the roster. And how many wide receivers are the Giants going to keep? I think 6 or 7. I think 6 is the number, and I think 7 is the absolute max. And I just don't see a way where Bryce Ford-Wheaton is one of those 7 guys. Maybe he crushes it, though, in the preseason and becomes the next Victor Cruz and absolutely dominates. But I don't know. I hope he is, but I'll ask you. As my guy Bill says, you know who else was undrafted? Victor Cruz. Yes, he was. Yes, he was, Bill. Will Bryce Ford-Wheaton make the roster? I hope so, because that means he's going to be a damn good football player. I am expecting him to be a part of the practice squad, though. But I'm not wrong much. But I am wrong sometimes. So let me know, yes or no, will Bryce Ford-Wheaton make the roster? Rosario Guzzo in the building. What up, homie? He says, do you think Gray will be a factor for the Giants' running attack? It's a good question. I am an Eric Gray fan. The more film that I watch on him, the more people I talk to about him, My fandom for Eric Gray continues to grow. I believe he's going to have a good career in the NFL. I think he fits what a professional running back is. He can run hard through the tackles. He's not an easy guy to bring down. Not top-end speed, but enough burst and enough juice to make people miss in the open field. He's a good receiving threat out of the backfield. He's a good running back. And I do think he's going to be more of a factor than what Matt Breida was, potentially, last year. I think the Giants, if the Giants do sign Saquon to a long-ish term deal, they're going to have to scale back his usage a little bit because you want to keep him fresh throughout the season and fresh for next year. Last year was kind of a one-year all-in Saquon, show me what you got type of season. I think this year, if a long-term deal gets done, you can't just give him 35 carries against the Houston Texans. Like, there's no need for that anymore. So I could see Gray being a little bit of a factor. How much? Not a crazy amount of usage for Gray, but I think he'll get his touches and maybe have a couple of TDs this year. I think he'll definitely be a guy that they could. I want to see Eric Gray and Saquon Barkley on the field at the same time. That's what I want to see. Johnson, you, my man, $20 super chat. Thanks, homie. Dalvin Cook, you are a New York Giant. No, I don't think Dalvin Cook is a New York Giant. I think it is more likely that Saquon Barkley does not play this year than Dalvin Cook suits up for the Giants. My prediction is Dalvin Cook is a Dolphin, and if he's not a Dolphin, I think he goes back to the Minnesota Vikings. We got a couple more questions to answer from all of the real ones out there coming up. But we got an awesome deal for the subscribers out there. So step one, subscribe to the channel. Hit the big red sub button. Then go to chatsports.com/Giants Hat Combo. That's chatsports.com/Giants Hat Combo. And get a Giants hat and t-shirt in a bundle for $23.99. That's a hat and a shirt repping your Giants in the summer for $24. Get the deal today because it won't last forever. Just go right here. Chatsports.com/Giants Hat Combo. Gilly, back again. Thank you for the super chat, Gilly. We appreciate it. With Belly and Wally, love that name, Gilly. Are the Giants going to be a two tight end offense going forward? Going forward, I don't think that their starting offense includes two tight ends. But what I will say, Gilly, is I'm expecting Darren Waller to get a lot of snaps and a lot of reps at that wide receiver position. And I believe the Giants want to run an offense at times with Waller and Bellinger. I think some weeks we might see Bellinger play 75, 80% of snaps. But then when the Giants go with more of a passing attack, I believe you only may see him from 35, 40% of snaps. That's what I love about Brian Dable. That's what I love about Mike Kafka. They draw up individual game plans for every single game. It can change and swing on a matter of a dime, and they're going to do what they think is best and the best plan of attack to win that game. Some weeks it might be a lot of Belly and Wally on the field at the same time. Some weeks it may just be a Waller week. But I do believe that Bellinger is going to have a big role on this team, Gilly. No doubt about it. Guzzo, back again. When Wan'Dale gets healthy, he will be a great slot receiver. I have high hopes for Wan'Dale Robinson, the second-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft out of Kentucky. He was great for Kentucky, had over 100 catches last year, or I guess his last season in college football in the SEC. And we started to kind of see Mr. Wan'Dale come on and get hot before, unfortunately, he had that season-ending injury. What did he have? Over 100 yards in that game he got injured? The Giants like him. They took him in the second round. He's going to have a role on this team, and I think he's going to be a good player for this football team and this organization for a good number of years, Mr. Guzzo. Good point. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm not selling my stock on him. Rob Jigga, what up, man? He says, hashtag edge rusher for the Giants in the supplemental draft. Just thought about that. There's only one player in the supplemental draft this year, the wide receiver. What's his name? I don't remember. There's a wide receiver that's in the supplemental draft. Only one guy this year. No edge rushers in the supplemental draft this year, Mr. Rob. Matt Robertson, how many TDs do you think Waller and Bellinger will have combined? It's a good question. Can I get 10 combined? Maybe 7 for Waller, 3 for Bellinger, 8 for Waller, 2 for Bellinger. Can I get 10 combined touchdowns out of those two guys? That's what I would consider a really successful season for the tight end duo? Great question, Matt. Michael Pons, what up, man? He says, if Barkley sits out, what's your thoughts on Leonard Fournette? For $5 million for 1 year? Hell no, I'm not paying playoff Lombardi Lenny $5 million. While I would expect that if the Giants got word, right, that Barkley was going to sit out for the season, and they accepted that, I bet they would go out and sign a veteran back. I just don't think it would be for $5 million a year. I believe they'd roll with Eric Gray and Matt Breida as the top two in that backfield. That's more of the route that I think they take, Mr. Pons. ESMZ, what up, homie? Do you think Jalen Hyatt will start at least a couple of games? Yeah. Is he going to go down in his Pro Football Reference page as a start? Sure. I believe Hyatt's going to have a role on this team, man. Because you don't need Jalen Hyatt to play 90% of the snaps to have an impact on a game. Give the guy 15 snaps, 2 targets, 1 catch, 45 yards and a touchdown. That's all Jalen Hyatt has to do to affect the game. He doesn't need a lot of usage, but he will down the road. But he's a 3rd-round pick. Remember that. And the Giants are deep at wide receiver this year. I don't think we need to be going after Jalen Hyatt if he doesn't play all that much in the first 4 or 5 games of the season. But I would love a touchdown week 1 over the top to Mr. Hyatt, burning Trayvon Diggs, that bum. Let's close out the show with this question. What will be the Giants' record this year? I want to hear from you. I'm going to go... I'm going 10-7. 10-7. Better than the Minnesota Vikings, that's for sure. Gilly, I don't think his reputation will be ruined, Gilly, if you're talking about Hyatt, if he doesn't play all that much. 3rd-round pick. A lot of 3rd-round picks don't start early on. But let me know what will be the Giants' record this year. Let me know in the comments. I'm going 10-7.